was shivering the whole time, and I even have 3 clothes on me, and it's so cold out there. And I know right now I can handle the pressure. As an experienced player, I just, you know, whatever happens. When I get my turn, I'm gonna do the best I can.
It was a great match. Had a good start with some good rolls. I'm feeling very good and I'm in top form. So,
as a young player, he's the most complete young player I ever seen. The temper part, the cue ball, the way he plays the game.
It's gonna be a good match with a lot of tactical, I think.
What a start, and plenty more drama on the way. To talk you through it, Alex Lely and Phil Yates.
Thanks, Tom. I can tell you one thing is for sure. They've got a lot to live up to, these two. That was a tremendous performance from David Al-Kaçi. Look at this lag as well. Tight.
Yeah, Al-Kaçi came with some strokes of genius in that match, sends out a strong signal and a nice marker for the rest of the gang.
Do you think it's yours? I thought it was a dead heat. I think it's a dead heat.
Our referee, Viv Rusko, thinks it's a dead heat.
Yeah. Can you
take it by the balls?
You want me to?
And I think this just shows the importance of the break.
Okay.
So this was Pagulayan's suggestion to put balls in between. Makes it easier to perceive the distance. Still looks close. Now Bogdan Bitowski from Poland could play a trick shot from here. And pocket all 8 balls.
Yeah.
Go again. A dead heat. Now the lag to decide who breaks first, Phil, is big, because the last time they met was in a big 10-ball tournament in Phoenix, Arizona. Kaçi won the leg and went on to make 8 breaking runs in a row. Pagulayan never got to the table again.
That wasn't a dead heat. That was won by 30 lengths. When they're both at the end of the table there, it made me realise the height disparity between these two. It's little and large, isn't it? But the little man from Canada is big on experience and big on nous when it comes to playing 9-ball pool. And as he proved yesterday, he's tough to beat.
Yeah, he has all the nous around the table, and he's very smart, possibly the smartest player on the planet. Next to Efren Reyes, of course. And he's very able to find ways to win, even if his form could be less than that of his opponent, of the Albanian ace, Eklent Kaçi.
The other thing with Pagulayan, off the table, he's a really effervescent personality, isn't he? Full of energy and always laughing and smiling. But this will be all business. As for Eklent Kaçi, he will be hoping for the same amount of run he had yesterday when he fluked not one but 2 9-balls.
Yeah, that did help him to build momentum against Jason Shaw. The rest of it was a very fine performance, though, from Kaçi, as was his against Earl Strickland in the opening round. From that match, 7-2. Nothing on the 1. Or is there? Needs to cut the paint of the ball. Now, Pagulayan isn't a player to be super still on the execution of a shot when he delivers. Don't let that misguide you. Just missed it. Had to take on a difficult shot. Wanted to give himself a chance to win and to keep Kaçi in the chair. Now the route later on from the pink 4 to the orange 5 for the 5-8 combination would be difficult. He can choose to open the 5, so make the 4 and off of the short rail go into the 5. Less predictable, but easier.
Extension call.
Now this is the 5-8 combination. So for the 5-8 combination he would need to get there, but from the 4 that would be a difficult route. Don't think he can get directly to the designated area. So big draw shot required. He can reach this. He's a tall lad. And he needs a lot of juice in the cue ball. Landed almost perfectly. Slide angle on the 5, but he's good. Just a stop shot. Now, as the 8 ball went in off of the long rail, if he does the same thing with the 5, he can get that cue ball off of the rail somewhat.
Over the last couple of years, he's burst onto the scene, and he's done so much in that short time. You don't want to give him any latitude whatsoever. The missed 1 ball from Pagulayan. Looks like being expensive.
Nice stroke there. Had a minimal angle. Strong opening rack for Kaçi if he deposits the 9.
Albania 1.
Matador Al-Kaidi.
He was the last man into the
Rack number
quarterfinals.
2.
Could be the last man into
Eklent
the
Kaçi to break.
semi-finals
Leading
as
one
well,
rack to
if he
nil.
prevails later on this afternoon.
Up against Albanusyan. And like yesterday, hitting that one ball slightly off center. We see it happen again and again, so remind me to ask him, Phil, if it's something he intends to do. Now back and forth. The 3 and the 4 to the same pocket. Easy positional shot, but essential because this setup on the 3 will make light work of the rest of the rack. If, of course, he doesn't take anything for granted. That's a bit speedy. Needs to go to the short rail, to the long rail, strike that cue ball low. Won't have a problem clearing the 8, but he would like to come in as straight as possible on the 5. Playing one rail. Like this, with a little more speed, he had a chance of coming in straight on the 5. Okay, so he's back in line. Looking to take full advantage of Pagulayan's missed one ball. Very good temperament he has. Tenacious, precise. Very knowledgeable, especially for his age.
We saw 4 break-in run-outs from David Al-Kaidi in our first quarter-final. This is going to be the first in this match. And rack 2 goes the same way as rack 1, i.e. to the side of the ledger of Eklent Kaçi. And as Alex Lely has told us already, he's capable of putting some hurt on people with many consecutive racks won, as Alex Pagulayan knows only too well from bitter personal experience.
He ran an 8-pack. That doesn't happen too often. Of course, you need to get the rolls and get shape on the lowest numbered ball after the break. But then still, you have to have a lot of nerve to finish a match like that. That nerve he has. A lot of bottle.
Semi-finalist in the World 9-Ball Championship in 2017. Also in 2017 won the Aramith Masters on the World Series. Last year, American Straight Pool Championship winner and a Euro Tour winner in Treviso, Italy.
Runner-up at the US Open. He has really skyrocketed. He's come out of nowhere.
Yes, and of course, last December made his debut at the Mosconi Cup. Talking of which, this year's event, 25th to the 28th of November 2019. Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas. Tickets on mosconicup.com.
Right, number
I
3.
don't think he was all too
Eklent Kaçi.
content
Great,
with his
leading 2
performance in the
racks
Mosconi
now.
Cup. Maybe it was okay-ish, but he can do so much better, and he's on track in these World Pool Masters to set that right.
Crunch.
Now, a testy shot on the 2 to leave himself a testy shot on the 3 ball. Unless, of course, he plays it with a lot of guts, with more speed, in an attempt to get that cue ball off the rail. But he's dead straight. Just cinch it. He doesn't like rolling it in, going forward about a diamond, to leave himself an even harder shot on the 3. So consider the alternative, jacking up and stopping the ball. The dreaded double kiss. It's very difficult to avoid it with that angle, or with the absence of an angle on that 2 ball. Now Pagulayan still looking for his first pot in the match. Side pocket, avoid the 9.
Extension call.
Oh, that's a big miss. Too much concern for the 9 ball. Plus the fact that he's been kept in his chair.
And lots of shoulder in that one, wasn't there? The right shoulder violently into the shot.
Yeah, that was a big miss by Pagulayan. You don't get too many chances to overturn a match in a race to 7. Especially not in the quarterfinals. With an in-form Eklent Kaçi.
Just for ease of cueing here, would like to have seen the cue ball bounce off the cushion by an inch or so. Just a little awkward.
Played it with a pinchy stroke to limit the speed and to maximize rotation on the cue ball. One rail below the 8 ball. He's picked it up where he left it yesterday. And he eliminated Jason Shaw. Fearless player. TV table, also in the back rooms. He has impressed many a player in the States when he traveled there 2 years ago as an unknown. That lasted about 2-3 months.
Eklent Kaçi, if you can. He leads 3-0 and been good value for that. Pagulayan's missed a couple of balls he shouldn't have, and the rest has been done by the tall Albanian, who is standing tall in this match. The second quarter-final in the Dafabet World Pool Masters continues in just a moment. Eight players were left in the Dafabet World Pool Masters when we started play today. The final day of this tournament. 4 Europeans, 3 North Americans, 1 from Australasia. Well, 1 European is already through to the semi-finals. David Al-Qaedi, impressive in beating Shane van Boning. Now Eklent Kaçi is looking to join him there.
We'll bear in mind how the match between Shane and David overturned in the 4th rack as Shane took on a very risky carry. Missed that. He was leading 3-0. And then the Matador taking the ball by the horns and winning 7 on the spin. So now not a missed carry, but a dry break, allowing Pagulayan back to the table. Still dangerous, but different for the mindset.
On the first afternoon of competition, dry breaks were the norm. Not so now.
Can play the 1 off of the 6 or the 1-6 combination. And the 1 still cuts. Can avoid it. Collision with the 2, but I think he's better off clipping that 2 ball, bumping it out like a half ball hit, or safing if he can't cut it. Nice shot there. Almost leaked out. And this is a very difficult hit for Kaçi.
The feel of Pagulayan's match yesterday against Copigny was very different to this. He led 3-1, trailed 6-4, came through 7-6.
Extension called.
As the beeps were going there, Kaçi realised that was the moment he had to take his extension, because he wasn't settled at all.
Now the 1 rail route to that 1 ball is sensitive for speed and tip position. The same line but hit harder or struck below center will make the cue ball deflect way different.
Foul shot. Ball in hand.
Long way off there.
Foul shot.
A lot of ground to cover for Pagulayan twice, from the 1 to the 3 and then subsequently from the 2 to the 3. From the 1 to the 2, excuse me. Nice angle, far enough off the rail. With high left. good enough. He has a shot. But comfortably, it's not.
Extension called.
One extension per rack requested and confirmed by Vivian Roscoe. He'll stay clear of the 4 ball if he pockets it cleanly, the 3.
It was a matter of reach, wasn't it? Eklent Kaçi has got reach in abundance. Unfortunately, Alex Pagulayan is vertically challenged.
The damage was done on that 2 ball where he fell short Pagulayan by an inch or 10. No open shot, but he did underhit the stroke. Kaçi wanted the 3 ball to travel further and to hold that cue ball behind and close to the 7. Doesn't want that to fall.
But the bowed head as Pagulayan leaves the table suggests the 3 ball has been left on.
Yeah, good pot. Good pot on the 3. Needs to control the 4 when comboing the 8 ball. And then work on putting the tin lid on this rack.
All sweetness and light. Smoke billowing into the arena. There you can see it. What's happening? What is happening here?
Can we have a timeout, please? Can we stop the clock?
Kaçi's on fire.
Literally, where's Ted Lerner when you need him? Now, this isn't a sea mist. Don't worry about that. It's not anything natural. Things you don't expect to happen. We saw this coming in before the players did because it wafted past our commentary box and now it's beginning to dissipate, thankfully. Interruptions in play you never expect. Rain has stopped play at snooker a few occasions. Quite recently, actually, at the World Grand Prix in Cheltenham, where the roof leaked and we had to delay the start of a match. But that was something entirely different. Of course, it was here that Alex Pagulayan had his cues set on fire by that light strobe.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay, can we settle down, please? Start the clock, please.
Okay, so everything is okay now. We're in the clear.
This has been pivotal wreck where Pagulayan had a chance to get his foot between the door when Kaçi missed that kick on the 1 ball. Three opportunities missed by Pagulayan, and that's a lot in a race to 7.
Yes, and the beat goes on for Eklent Kaçi. 4-0 up now, and Alex Pagulayan in more than a spot of bother. I think the shaking of the head is entirely appropriate given the performance he's put in so far. But what worries me about him, for all of his knowledge, and that is massive, he does get under pressure, there's no doubt about it, and that manifests itself in what we call a snatch on the shot. Moves a lot. You're going to miss them if you do that. And it's something he's got to try and work out, but as you get older, that's something you're more prone to, as the nerves become a little more frayed, a little more shredded.
Yeah, he's always done it. But now it's been exposed harshly.
Well, there's Shane Van Boening in the audience. Being a good pro, taking photographs with the fans, but inside he must be very disappointed. Having said that, though, apart from one questionable shot choice on a carom in the fourth rack, that match was all about the excellence of Al-Kaidi.
Yeah, stellar performance, and Shane is a real sportsman. Neither vainglorious in victory nor a whinger in defeat. He'll be here, he'll be rooting and supporting Skylar Woodward.
Eklent Kaçi to break, leading 4 racks to 0.
One upshot of this scoreline here is that it's looking increasingly likely we're going to have at least one European in the final, because if Eklent Kaçi does come through, he will play Al-Kaidi next.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a very good one. But the 8 ball has just about covered the corner pocket. And that's very tight. He's looking at the pot to the right hand pocket. Some players in the field would go for a straight back, bank that 1 ball, draw the cue ball back, placing it to the left side of the 3. Half a pocket. That's a nice safety. And when you're trailing 4-0, you have to play more like a lion. Leading 4-0, play more like a mouse. Not all too conservative, but there's no need risking if you're in control of the match.
There, though, the mouse has laid the trap.
Foul shot.
Pagulayan, it seems, just not at the races today. Could well be that the 8-pack that Kaçi ran against him in Phoenix, Arizona a little while ago has made a dink in his armor.
Phoenix, Arizona, one of my favorite places in the world, but after that experience I would think Pagulayan doesn't share my view.
Nice view there of Kaçi's follow through, coming straight through the ball. Very much technical form to emulate. would have liked to be a little to the left or to the right.
Extension call.
Going forward means getting closer to the long rail. Holding the cue ball means having an unfavorable angle on the 6 plus distance. Can go to either side of the 7. Depends on the exact angle and on personal preference. He can play just a high ball, staying on this side, or punch and go through the angles. That's a big miss there. Out of nowhere. Could there be light at the end of the tunnel for Alex Pagulayan?
It's the kind of error that can turn matches.
Beware of the wounded bear, Brad Gilbert wrote in his book, Winning Ugly. Pagulayan looking to come alive here.
Trying to get some feel in the cue arm. Get it going forward. Smoothly. Kaçi missed the 6th ball when no one expected it. Has that opened a door, I wonder? Alex Pagulayan has his first rack of the day. Kaçi still leads, but now it's 4-1.
Successful sequence of shots for Pagulayan. That'll get the juices flowing. 4-0 in a race to 7 is a lot. 4-1. A little less, and if Pagulayan can manufacture a productive break and get a shot there, he can mount the pressure. We've seen many comebacks yesterday.
And also from Kaçi's point of view, everything was going according to plan, and suddenly that's a shock to the system. That 6th ball.
I'm sure, you know, how he missed that 6, he missed it by half a diamond, was due to indecision. Still a bit of doubt. Play it just with topspin, maybe a bit of side spin, or punch it. If a top player misses a shot by that extent, it's due to a technical breakdown. It's not incompetence.
Rack number 6. Alex Pagulayan to break, trailing 4 racks to 1.
Doesn't seem so convinced about his chances on this break. Self-fulfilling prophecy, or just knowledge and conviction. Was nodding his head before going down to the line himself. Strange old game, this.
And what's even worse for Pagulayan, an opening shot on the 1, 2 in the open, so 2-3. Away Kaçi goes, potentially.
Every shot has 2 aiming points. the one on the object ball and the tip position on the cue ball. And Kaçi devotes a lot of attention on the ladder. All his feathers, his warm-up strokes are small and tiny. Minuscule precision on that cue ball. Can slide that 3-ball past the 9, but he would not be able to hold the cue ball, and the 4 does not go to the same pocket. Is that a reason to attempt the 3-9 combo here? I think so.
Could be a swift resolution to this rack. Never in doubt, thumped in. And so the loss of the 5th rack was only a brief blip for Eklent Kaçi. He has regained command in a major way. That 3-9 combination takes him into a 5-1 lead. 2 more needed for a place in the semi-finals. So then, a one-sided match, but we know things can turn around. We saw it in the previous contest. Join us for more pool here in Gibraltar in just a moment. You can't help but fear the worst for Alex Pagulayan at the moment. Trailing 5-1 against Eklent Kaçi.
7. Plenty Kaçi to break, leaving 5 racks to 1.
And Kaçi, of course, is breaking. 2 racks needed for a place in the last 4.
Squatted the cue ball perfectly on the previous break. Looking to replicate that. Nothing down. And from that position, the 1 glued to the 4, Pagulayan could only but play a safety. But he's hampered by the 5. So calls a push out. We'll try and find a spot where he knows the answer and Kaçi will not. I don't see it.
I think it's this kind of situation where you need to be shrewd tactically, where Pagulayan might come into his own.
I don't see a high percentage shot. I don't see a 50-50 shot. That's why we watch players like Pagulayan with intention, because we can always learn.
We didn't learn anything from that, apart from the fact he stuck the 1.
Yeah, tried to kick and stick, hold the cue ball there, but it was difficult. But he had to push the boat out a bit on that push out. Being down 5-1, you would like the opponent to give it back to you.
The 3 partially masked by the 5.
admirable in his thoroughness, Eklent Kaçi. It's a good shot here. Good enough position on the 3 to consider attacking the ball. Alternatively, he could try and stick the cue ball to the 5. But he's going all in. Bit of hesitance, maybe distracted.
Extension called.
Big shot this. If he attempts the safety, he can get that cue ball really close to the 5. So he's playing safe. And I get that. And I also get it that at first he was considering offense because you would like to keep a player like Pagulayan away from the table. I remember selling out the standard safety last year in my match against Pagulayan because I was being too respectful. I had a pretty straightforward safety, but I wanted to do more.
Did I use an extension? I haven't used an extension.
No, that's right, yeah. Want it now? Extension called, please. Could you move away from the thing, please? Thank you.
Looking to play 3 rails around the 8 ball. No, 2 directly, and that's a bad roll. Or it's a perfect roll.
Well, I thought it was going to be a scratch too, Alex, and it stopped absolutely on the edge.
Yeah, the ball in that position is worth its weight in gold for Pagulayan. Was a great hit. And a tough leave. How do you like that? What a return. On the last beeps of the clock, he rolls and hits it with a very nice control of speed.
Yes, from being angled, Kaçi has done so well there.
Now a 3/4 ball hit for Pagulayan. Get that cue ball back towards the 4. And this time flirting with the pocket costs him. Scratch and ball in hand.
At the moment, looks very disconsolate. Abject frustration.
There was a tight passage for the cue ball. All the result of the great hit by Kaçi.
Didn't want to be straight there, and he does have some angle. Enough to work with.
If he stops the cue ball just about there, there's plenty of room past the 8. Piston-like precision. Small feathers. Pause on the cue ball. Pulls back and delivers every time the same routine. Like a robot. Could have done with a little more cue ball travel. Should be good. Can stun draw and then accelerate with left off of the long rail.
Pagulayan's scratch proved to be terminal in that particular rack. Eklent Kaçi on course for what would be the widest margin of victory so far in this year's Dafabet World Pool Masters, and that's because he leads 6-1, breaking in rack number 8. That's the scratch, made contact with a 3, but the white went in, and basically Pagulayan suspected what ultimately did occur. Catchy clearance. From our first quarter-final when David Al-Kaidi had 4 break and run-outs in overcoming Shane Van Boning.
Last break for the Albanian ace. If he wins or loses this rack. Apart from the missed 6 ball, it has been a very good display of his skills. Pot on the 2, but cue ball close to the rail and a lot of speed needed to get back up table for the 3. Seems difficult for him to attack the 2 and miss contacting the 9. He can give it a try. Forget about the 9 and then just focus on that 2 ball.
Foul shot.
And Pagulayan is getting his last drink.
Ball in.
Last chance saloon. Nice pot. Nice pot. He did what he could do, Kaçi. It was unforeseeable how that cue ball would arc exactly coming off of the 2. Biggest comeback I ever witnessed in the World Pool Masters was a 7-1 deficit for Raj Handal in the final against Rodney Morris. 7-1 down, winning 8-7. Going on to get the title in Doncaster in 2005 it was. Anything is possible. And one could think, yeah, but Pagulayan has been playing so far below what he can do in this match. It's not there, his form. But sometimes you have to go real deep and hit a real crisis to get into that deep concentration. He has nothing to lose.
Indeed, the match continues, clinging on to his hopes of progress, Alex Pagulayan. He trails 6-2, and we must remember that in the previous round, the last 16, he came back from 6-4 down to beat Chinese Taipei's Ko Pin-yi.
Ko Pin-yi was running out for the match and hung up a ball. I believe it was the 4. So
You were right there, though, Alex. Couldn't really legislate for that. Kaçi was a good pot on the 2, didn't deserve the scratch. But I think when it went in, he realised, at the very least, his victory celebrations were going to be a little delayed. What was your biggest comeback, Alex, over the years?
2002 in the Fujairah 8-ball Invitational. I was in the semi-finals, losing 9-0 in a race to 11 alternate break 8-ball against the former Leonardo Andam from the Philippines. It was nice. I won 11-10, and you know, but there's 2 phases when you make a comeback. First is making the comeback, and then when you find yourself in a winning position to be able to deal with the pressure that comes back at you.
Alex Pagulayan to break, trailing 6 racks to 2.
And often you'll see players starting to play freely without pressure, going for shots, making the comeback, and then when they find themselves in a winning chance, not being able to put the lid on the rack.
What a funny old break that was. The little nick on the 1 ball kept it in mid-table. And then, look where the 2 ball finished up. There's the 1, stopped in mid-table by the 4. Oh, and the 2. Making Pagulayan's life miserable.
Yeah, against Ko Pin-yi, he missed a couple of shots where he had to jack up over a ball. They were sitting easier than this one.
And the smaller you are, the tougher elevation is to achieve.
Hey, it's okay, bro. It's okay.
Easy hit for Kaçi.
You just mentioned your comeback there against Leonardo Andam, and there's a connection with Alex Pagulayan, because it was with Leonardo Andam and Jovan Alba that Pagulayan won the team gold medal in snooker for the Philippines at the 2005 Southeast Asian Games. So wheels within wheels.
And Kaçi put the wheels on the 1 ball there. Couldn't have hit that ball better.
Extension called.
Can come all the way back with the cue ball towards the 6, 4 and 7. Or just play long rail, use the 5 and 9. Could have put him in jail behind those 3 balls, but he did get the snooker. It's not easy for Kaçi to resave from here. Looks like he's about to hit it hard. So what he tried to do, if he would play that from behind with no spin, a straight hit would send the 1 ball towards the corner pocket. So he tried to come in at an angle using left spin. Very difficult, but the only way to find some sort of future in the shot. Now for the 4 ball, he needs to get there. There's no future on the other side of the 4. So this is a very difficult shot for Pagulayan. Played what was there. Did not try to get ideal position. He played something that he felt he could do. And from here there was always safety opportunity. And had he landed better, he could have chosen to attack the 4. Not out of the races today. Has to work hard though, because his cue ball control is not there. So the route for Kaçi
Extension called.
is like this, but as you can see, the 9 ball is a big ball. Really needs to try and open the angle off of the short rail with left spin. Oh, that was a good shot. 2 great kick shots in this match by Eklent Kaçi. Occasions where you think, okay, Pagulayan is really putting the screws on now.
Nicely held.
Top spin with a bit of right. Clear to see there how short of a pullback, short of a backswing Pagulayan was using. In the States they call that bulletproof. But then again, with a limited backswing, you need to deliver with a lot of acceleration, and it's difficult to have that smoothness. Different strokes for different folks. Longer backswing by Pagulayan there. Still down 6-2, about to make 6-3. But he's exercising some control in this match. Getting a grip.
And you just know from so many years of playing pool on the international tour that he will not stop fighting. until there's no more left to fight for. Eklent Kaçi's lead reduced to 6-3. We're in the Tercentenary Hall in the Victoria Stadium here in Gibraltar. It's the Dafabet World Pool Masters. It's the final day of 3, and this is the second quarter-final. Alex Pagulayan fighting to keep the contest going.
Yeah, he needs a tight tenacity now. He's not called the Lion for nothing. Has made some remarkable recoveries in his career.
Well, this has worked out a treat.
Always goes up and down. Conjunctural confidence and energy and the roles that you get in a match. So for 20-30 minutes it can seem like you're not catching any roll, and then all of a sudden a roadmap after the break. Good example there with the angle on the 4. Instead of rolling with right spin, he stayed mostly on the vertical axis. Playing it with a touch of draw. Natural position to the 8. We'll position the cube on the right of it. Sitting in the chair, having a lead, seeing your opponent break and getting that type of position on the 2. You know, you're there and you tell yourself, okay, for the next 5 minutes I have to sit there, I have to wait here, I have to be patient and try and not get negative.
Alex Pagulayan breaks and runs, and this comeback has got legs. Now it is 6-4. Remember, Pagulayan at his lowest ebb, Kaçi at his highest point, led 6-1. And as far as breaks go, Alex Lely, you can't get much better than that.
Yeah, he's building some momentum here. Getting the wind in the sails. That's really a test for Kaçi's mental game. He's been there, but you know, you never get used to it. Getting chased by the opponent. So the wounded bear Pagulayan is making a comeback, but Kaçi has another bear in his corner.
Rack number 11, Alex Pagulayan to break.
Big break this, a big moment, rack 11.
4.
This would be something if he were to make it 6-5. Kapow. No luck, no shape, no vision on the 2.
3 balls deposited. We were talking when he played his first match, Alex Pagulayan, about the fact that on one occasion, 15 years ago now at the BCA Open, he potted 6 balls on the break.
And didn't run out.
Didn't win the rack. It was against a Filipino by the name of Santos Sambajon.
I once saw Jesse Tehu in the Netherlands make 7
out,
balls on the
Paul.
break in a rack of 9 ball and not have shape. So where to push out to? It's either lower right-hand
Extension
corner
called.
or top left. So this is what I do if I look for a good spot to play a push out from. I'll just look from the corners to see if I recognize some sort of solution. It's giving it more time than a couple of racks ago where you had that position top left. Played a difficult push for a kick shot, sold out there. I like this push out because there's nothing there. Well, there is a cut. It's very difficult. And there are safety options. Okay to execute, but nothing that he could really win from. So it's sort of a neutral position, this. Is he playing the cut shot? Came awfully close to hitting the 4. Rubbing the 4 could have meant the cue ball going in. Can cut the 2 ball towards the 7. Would need to hit that soft. So this all evolved from Pagulayan's push out to a neutral position. Couldn't win, couldn't lose with the safety. It would just be the start of a safety battle. He can cut
Extension
the
call.
2 ball to the left a bit towards the 9. Get the cue ball to the short rail on the right side of the black. And he'd be sure that the 4 would block the pocket for the 2 ball. Could be a shot. He's going to the left with the cue ball. I think that's asking a lot. Only having the 5 ball to see cover behind.
Yes, and there's no cover there. Clear pathway through.
Big frown from the big man. Good pot. It's never going to look as textbook as Kaçi's delivery. But he hit it clean. Better there and a bit thinner than further and having to cue over the 9. And he's in line. He's in line to narrow the gap. good win this. Had to play a push. And a couple of shots later, safety error by Kaçi was forced. Makes it more suspenseful how he executes his shots. Sighing, complaining, frowning.
Comeback king Alex Pagulayan never knows when he's beaten. At 6-1, it looked certain as though Eklent Kaçi was going to make it into the semi-finals. At 6-5, Pagulayan is right back in it, and bear in mind, he is breaking off in rack number 12. What a fighter.
Here his execution of the 9. One little thing I want to say about that, he plays a lot of one pocket. And one pocket will teach you how to defend, how to play your safeties. You learn many little nows around the table. But it also forces you to roll many shots. And that type of shot, he came close to missing it. And he would be way better off punching that ball in. Let that be a warning. All rotation players, 9-ball players would punch it. Yuck.
Talking about his one-pocket skills, he has won the Scotty Townsend one-pocket event this year. Another couple of titles in 2019 already, the Texas 10-ball and the Music City Classic. So he's had a pretty good start to the year. Smaller events than this, of course. This would be the jewel in the Pagulayan crown if he could get this one done. And we must remember that in 2008, when he won the World Pool Masters at the Riviera Casino in Las Vegas, in the final, he was 6-3 down to Mika Immonen, 1-8-6.
Rack number 12, Alex Pagulayan to break, trailing 6 racks to 5.
Cue ball control has been good, has been making balls. Needs a bit of luck here. Oh, and that was luck. Cue ball was tracking towards the side pocket. Survived the scare there. Look at the cue ball. Oh, saved by the one. Can stun over behind the 5. Make the 2-ball go long past the side pocket. That's where he's placing his hand. He'll have the 5, 6 and 3 working for him. Make it go long with low and right spin. Forced by the angle, the exact angle that he had. He needed to go forward to play that type of shot. More difficult to control the cue ball. Coming in from that angle towards the 2 with the 3, 6, 5 and 4. Big chance to resave.
What was a runaway for him is now extremely tense.
It's not easy, this. There's a... If he banks the 2
Extension
back
call.
to this side of the table, to his side of the table, between the 3 and 6, the cue ball will be slow. He would only have the 6, I think, to hide behind. If he banks the 2 towards the 5, he cannot create a lot of distance. Don't know what that was. Well, I know what it was, an attempt to bank the 2. But he really wanted to make sure to miss it on the safe side, miss it on the long rail.
What it might be, Alex, his last shot of the tournament.
There was a gross misjudgment by Pagulayan.
Extension call.
As the beeps began to tell him that he only got 5 seconds left, Kaçi, he decided to take the extension. Simply had to, really.
Maria praying. Now 2 rails again in between the 5 and 6. Or 3 rails around the 5. He really wants to get on the right side of the 4. Does not want to have to negotiate the side pocket. So 3 rails. Ooh, Phil. Oh, that was close. 4 goes to the side. Or it doesn't, but the carom is on. The carom is on. He wants to hit it thin, the 4. To position it in front of the corner pocket. Oh, it did go.
And now prospects for Pagulayan are looking increasingly bleak.
Yeah, Pagulayan was really getting a grip on his match and tightening the screws. Was really surprised to see him misplay that 2-way shot, that bank on the 2. Very uncharacteristic for him to misjudge that type of shot.
The first semi-final this evening is almost set. Now it is set. Spain's Dafabet will play Albania's Eklent Kaçi, who has withstood a very tenacious comeback from Alex Pagulayan. He led 6-1. In the end, he was very relieved to win by 7 racks to 5. 2 more quarterfinals coming up for you in this session. The next one, Kazakis against Edwards, coming up.